Happy Halloween, Party Chat Sports. Welcome back to the channel. It's one of your hosts, Caleb Gill. Hope everybody enjoys their Halloween festivities this weekend. At the moment, I'm currently repping a Bobby Boucher Bourbon Bowl jersey. Right? That's what I'm going with. If you've got any cool jerseys like this, Shane Falco would be cool. What would be some other good ones? I'm drawing blanks. At some point, we got to rank sports movies, football movies. Paul Crewe, that'd be another good one. But we're not talking about jerseys today. Instead, sort of like Paul Crewe, not quite, actually. We're not going to rig and throw any games or anything like that. But we are gambling. All right. We're using FanDuel. It's all going to be great. It's all going to be kept in swell. All right. Let's get into your parlay of the week for week 9 of the NFL season. And what we're starting off with is a PCS game. We're going to go to the Lions-Vikings game. And I was trying to find some... I took a couple alt yards this week. I usually just go with, if I'm picking yards, I usually don't try thinking too much on an alt. But I was looking at Jared Goff's, and I was looking at how he fares against the Vikings in previous years. What I found out is every time he's played the Vikings, since arriving in Detroit, outside of that first game, he has thrown for over 225 yards. The most recent game, Week 18, he threw for 230 yards. So that's that's kind of the range I was thinking. The lowest, since he's worn a Detroit Lions uniform, the lowest number of yards that he's thrown for against the Vikings is 203. Every 296, 277, 330, 257, 320, 280, and then 231. So I'm looking at the alt yards. And what am I going to do? I'm going to go over 225 yards for Jared Goff passing in this game. I think he's got a good shot to do it. And who is he going to throw to? Amon-Ra St. Brown, anytime touchdown against the Vikings. I think this is a game where the Lions offense is going to get rolling. They're going to get clicking. John Moore and the OC came out this week and said he's got to do better at finding ways to get Jameson Williams involved, so that should help with the Jared Goff yards. And then I just think Amon-Ra is going to have a good day. I kind of like those odds for him. So in this Lions-Vikings game, plus 225 yards, anytime touchdown for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Plus 225 for Jared Goff, I should say. Now, another PCS game. I didn't even mean to do this. It just so happened to be this way. Colts-Steelers. We talked about this game on the pod, specifically Dylan talked about it, and how he does not like the Steelers' odds, and neither do I. I'm taking Colts. They're favored by 3. I'm taking them as 3-point favorites in this game against the Steelers. They should be able to have their way with that Steelers defense. Who else is going to have their way with that Steelers defense? Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor has been the MVP of the league, in my opinion, to date. Best running back. Now, granted, they're getting lanes that big Mack trucks could run through. The offensive line is parting like the Red Sea at times. Jonathan Taylor is getting wide open lanes, but he's also making the most out of it. He's going to get hit pay dirt. He's going to get in the end zone. How many times, I'll tell you how many times, Jonathan Taylor has not scored this season. It feels like he's getting into the end zone pretty much every week, seemingly. The only two, he's failed to score 3 times in the regular season so far. Against Miami, against Denver, and against LA. The LA Rams. Yeah, he has not scored against those 3. He had 3 touchdowns against the Chargers, 2 against the Titans. This is out of order. 3 against the Raiders. He had 1 against the Cardinals, 3 against the Titans. And then 0 against the Rams, Broncos, and Dolphins. He's going to get back into the end zone. The Steelers, especially, the run defense scares me. They're not tackling. They're not that good. As a defense overall, they're not that good. So I think Jonathan Taylor's going to have a good game. I also think Tyler Warren is going to have a good game. When Dylan harped on the fact that the Steelers have not been able to cover a tight end over the last decade, I was looking at Tyler Warren, and I know the Steelers just got a new safety in Kyle Duggar. I don't even know her. I think Tyler Warren over 56.5 yards is going to hit. On the flip side for the Steelers, this isn't all bad for the Steelers, by the way. I do think DK Metcalf over 58.5 yards receiving is going to hit. So we've got 2 overs on the receiving totals in this Steelers-Colts game. DK Metcalf is really the only guy that's not a tight end that Aaron Rodgers is throwing to. And it's been those quick intermediate stuff. All it takes for DK is to break one. He's got the ability to hit a slant and go for 80. He's got that capability. He's got that in his arsenal. So I think in this game, Colts favored with 3 points. Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown. Tyler Warren over 56.5 yards. And DK Metcalf over 58.5 yards receiving in this game. To what is our game of the week, the Party Chat Sports game of the week. I couldn't not bet on this game, right? Chiefs-Bills. It feels like this is usually a high-scoring game, but when you actually look at the numbers, when you actually look at how many points are being scored by these two teams each time they play each other, it's not hitting the over. The over is 52.5 for this game. So you look at that, it's like, all right, in the regular season, let's do some quick maths. Okay, the last time they played on November 17th, 2024, Bills beat the Chiefs 30-21. That's 51 points right there. The Bills beat the Chiefs in 2023, 20-17. What's that? 37. Bills beat the Chiefs 24-20 in 2022, 44. Bills beat the Chiefs in 2021, 38-20. So the over hit there, that was 58 in 2021. And then in 2020, the Chiefs beat the Bills 26-17. That's 43. So these aren't high, like, they're good scoring games. They're good games. But 52.5 feels high. So I'm taking the under. This is your under of the week, folks. 52.5 is the under of the week. I will not hear it. I know the Chiefs offense is clicking, but this is like Tyreek Hill was on some of these teams. These are Stephon Diggs. This has been some high-profile matchups, and they've only hit this particular over, 52.5, once in the regular season dating back to 2020. Postseason's a different story, but we're talking regular season. So give me under 52.5 points in this game. And then also, I'm looking at the running back group. I'm looking at who's going to score, who's going to get the ball. I see this as an opportunity to get a rocket, of course, in the parlay. I don't know if I've ever put him in the parlay, but give me Kareem Hunt anytime touchdown. The way the Chiefs have been using him has been short yardage, goal line, third down. He has been the guy that's getting those goal line touches, and especially with Isaiah Pacheco out, he's going to continue to get more of those touches. So I do think if the Chiefs especially are in a goal-to-go situation, they're going to give Kareem Hunt the ball, and I think he's going to score against the Bills. So give me Kareem Hunt anytime touchdown along with under 52.5 for the Chiefs and Bills. Also, 49ers are heading to the New York Giants. 49ers are favored 2.5. I've got them winning, and I've got the 2.5 for the 49ers. I think they win by 3 or more. Brock Purdy's back. He's with George Kittle. Those two are going to look good together, I'd expect. CMC still in the backfield. They have the tools necessary to beat this Giants team, and I just don't think, especially with Scatterboo hurt, we saw the Giants not look as good. They're not a good football team. They just had some moments. They've had some highlight plays from their young guys, Jackson Dart. But I don't see that happening this week, especially Robert Saleh's defense is a good defense. Jackson Dart's going to struggle against that 49ers defense. I think Brock Purdy is going to do enough to get the 49ers not just a win, but a win by 3 points or more against the Giants. And then the last leg of this 10-leg parlay, Jackson Smith-Njigba. If Jonathan Taylor's the MVP, he should probably be the Offensive Player of the Year as well. But if you want to give the Offensive Player of the Year to somebody that's not the MVP, Jackson Smith-Njigba has a really good case for the award this point in the season. You want to know his receiving totals? 124, 103, 96, 79, 132, 162, 123. So this was another one that I went with an alt receiving yard total. I'm looking at this, I'm like, he only hit under 80 yards once, and that was against the Cardinals. They're playing the Commanders this week. Sam Darnold, one thing he's been good at, he's been good at it so far this year. He was good at it last year with the Vikings, is feeding that number one receiver. JSN's going to see his targets. He's going to see his targets. He's going to see his catches, which is going to yield yards. He's only hit this number under this number once this season, so I am taking the alt yardage for Jackson Smith-Njigba over 80 yards receiving. That feels like easy money. Though, again, these totals, he is averaging over 100 yards a game this season. Actually, here's technically what he's averaging. All right, never mind. He's averaging, it's 819. He's averaging 117 yards a game. I thought about anytime touchdown here, but I thought I had a couple anytime touchdowns already. The yardage felt more comfortable, felt more likely. Not that yardage wouldn't have made sense for Jonathan Taylor, but I tried being choosy with who I pick with anytime touchdowns. I think the yardage for JSN plus 80 is going to hit. It's only not hit once. Why would I expect it to not hit this week against the Commanders? So let's run through this parlay real quick. Your 10-leg parlay. Jared Goff, plus 225 yards passing. That's all passing yards. And then anytime touchdown for Amon-Ra St. Brown against the Minnesota Vikings. Colts, they're 3-point favorites. I'm taking them as the favorites. I'm also taking Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown. Tyler Warren and DK Metcalf to both hit their over yardage, or the over yardage on their totals, with Warren's being 56.5 and DK's being 58.5. Chiefs, Bills, under. Your under of the week, 52.5. Plus Kareem Hunt anytime touchdown. 49ers favored at 2.5. I'm taking the Niners. And then Jackson Smith-Njigba alt yardage of plus 80 yards receiving. That brings our 10-leg parlay to plus 25,204 odds. So my $5 bet is going to win me $1,265.20. And that, my friends, is your week 9, your Halloween parlay of the week. Make sure you give us a follow, share your parlays with us, give us some feedback. Let us know what you think in the comment section. DM us on Twitter. Let us know on TikTok, at wherever you get your podcasts. Again, as I always say, we are anywhere and everywhere. Oh, Party Chat Sports. Tell your friends, tell your loved ones, tell people you know that love sports as much as we do to check us out. Like, subscribe, all the good things at Party Chat Sports. Let's have a great week 9. And until next time, happy betting. Peace.